Hi guys, welcome back to PBTV, and we have here the PP-19-01 ZTAC SP1 by ARCTURUS. Yes, a very big mouthful of a platform and a very interesting build indeed. Obviously, things like this have been made very popular by games like Tarkov and things like that. So we thought we'd grab one of these out because it is the Optical MOSFET edition. ARCTURUS call it the FE. So we're going to go through it, have a look externally, how you mount things, how you sort of adjust different things. The stock's different, the rails are different. Everything is different. So we're going to have a look at it, and then we're going to go and put some BBs through it just so you can show and see how this thing shoots. But ARCTURUS do include a lot of things in the box as well, so we've got a load of accessories and extra bits to look at. But looking at this as we've built it, we've obviously put a maul on the front and an optic on it, but the other accessories are included. And that includes I think they call it the DTK front end. So this is the DTK, or a Saiga-style suppressor on the front, and this is on a 14mm counterclockwise thread. Out the box, there is no flash hider, no nothing on it. You get two options. There is the suppressor here, and there is the DTK style muzzle brake, big chunky front end. So if you're wanting to put that on it, you can. So you get both of these in the box, and you can fit either one you want. So if you wanted to go quiet, you can put that on it. There is no foam inside it. It is hollow, and again, that's probably because of this will ship all around the world, and some places do not allow foam-filled mock suppressors, so they have to ship them blank. But if you want to put your own foam in it and sort it out, you can do. The front screws off, and you can change it. You can put a trace unit in there if you want. So there's loads of stuff that you can do post receiving this to change that up. So out the box, it's not going to change the volume or the auditory report of this that much, but it looks really cool. Coming back to the rail, one of the very different aspects and extremely unique mounting systems that we've seen on many airsoft platforms recently. Obviously, on the top, we do have standard 20mm riz just here and here. So as you can see, we fit them all at the front. Any PEC boxes, lasers, or all like that fit to 20mm, you can fit there. As you can see, we've put the optic back here on the high-rise mount that is already pre-fitted, but you could quite easily, if you prefer, putting your dots a little bit further forward on what is essentially like an AK-style platform. You could put the red dot there, mount a simple optic here, because you can see underneath this rail and still use the iron sights. So there's iron sights there and there. You can look underneath that bit of rail to peep through. So putting a dot there isn't going to get blocked too much by this bit of rail at the back. But looking at the side, what is essentially what looks like M-lock, but 90-degree turned all the way down here. Some people call it the B2 style attachments. There's very different terminology. They call it a sport rail, various different things. But inside the box, you do get some accessories, including this little hand stop here. Weirdly, it comes with an Allen key in the box, in the bag with it, but it is not an Allen key. It's two flat-headed screwdrivers. So you screw the very small one in first. That pushes the locking device up. You put it where you want it, and then you use a larger, bigger flathead screwdriver to then lock the nut in underneath it, and then it puts some pressure on it, and it locks it in place. And it does have two spines down the side to lock it in place, so it is very, very rigid, and it's not going to move. So it is a very secure mounting system. It's just very unique. Also, you will get M-lock style riz pieces. So I think there's two in the box, and they come like this, and it is an M-lock style mounting system. So when you put this on, you can either screw them into wherever you want, add some accessories, but instead of the M-lock locking in and being horizontal, it's vertical, so it works the same. Obviously, you then can't use standard M-lock systems, because then it would be sort of perpendicular to the direction you're wanting it to look. So very unique, really cool. Like, it is such a unique build, the front of this, and very, very comfortable. The almost 3 step downs means that whatever accessories you are going to put on this aren't going to interfere with those. Obviously, we've put a maul on the front. If you put a PEC box here, it's not going to interfere with any optic that you put here, or even if you put something here, it's not going to interfere with any optic up here. If you wanted to leave the front completely bare, again, we have more riz just at the back here. Again, we could quite easily take the red dot off and put it at the back, put it on a riser, anything you want. Real estate and how to mount things on this is probably one of the most featureful systems that you can get. The actual granularity of where you can put accessories is probably one of the big features of this thing, and it makes it really, really sort of unique in how you can set this thing up. That being said, with all this extra metal work and even the stock being metal, it does add to the weight. I found the weight online and it says it's 3.15 kilos. It does not feel like that because it's all back here. So the sort of lump that is in the center, all this is aluminium. So when you pick this thing up, you're picking it up where all the weight is, so it doesn't throw you off or sort of unbalance it. It is all where the gearbox is, and this is where all the steel is. So when this is shouldered and when you're moving around with it, very easy to get sort of maneuver through corridors, doors, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to be thrown off by that weight being as high as it is, and it is really comfortable. Obviously, the stock being aluminium, the rail being aluminium, it does cut it off and keeps the center of gravity where it needs to be. Some other unique parts when it comes to these style of builds, we do have a slightly different pistol grip to what we'd get on a standard PP-19. And a lot of the times, this style, again, I think they call them like DTK or Zco or something like that. These normally come as metal, but again, trying to save a bit of weight, this is a polymer version of this grip. We do have some knurling and sort of ergonomic aspects to it with the finger grips and bits on the side. So just adding to the features that this thing has. Coming back to the stock, again, very unique. People have seen these before. They are all over the place, and it has about 1 million different ways to adjust it. You've got the cheek riser, you've got the stock up and down, and they're all sort of lock and unlock. So looking down here, there's different clips that you can undo, adjust it, and then simply lock it back in place, and it does go rock solid as well. Some of them are little turn screws, so you undo that, adjust the cheek well, undo a physical screw, and then adjust the stock here into various different positions. So again, 1 million different ways to adjust the stock to get it exactly how you want it, whether or not it's length, the stock in your gear, cheek riser, so you're getting a perfect sight picture. But we also do have multiple different sling points on this as well, on both sides, and it even folds away if you want to pack this thing down. So millions of features and customization on the outside to make this thing as unique as you want it. And again, visually, it's unique out the box. You're just going to make it just more so. When we dive inside this thing, that's when some more magic happens. So ARCTURUS have their optical MOSFET fitted to this thing. They call it the FE. There's multiple different ones. And inside the box, you get a very convenient instruction card. So we've gone through how to do ARCTURUS MOSFETs before by flicking it between the different settings of safe and full auto with that. And again, depending on the platform, there are some slight feature changes, but it is all on the card, and it's not really features, it's just how the selector works between AK-12s and other systems. But you do get all the features that you need with a MOSFET. The one that everyone looks for and the one that gives you the most performance increase personally is pre-cocking. So with the piston sat forward, you pull the trigger, winds back, fires a BB, winds back, fire a BB. With the pre-cocking, you've got up to 9 different settings of pre-cocking of how far back it goes. All depends on the gear ratio and different things, so that's why they've got settings. It's 18:1 gears in here. You set that piston to the back, so when you pull the trigger, it's basically almost like a sniper, releasing that sear, firing the BB, and then pre-cocking another BB into the chamber. So it is fractions of a second difference, but once you've got used to it and that snap shooting and just getting that round off slightly before someone else means that you're going to stay in the game a little bit longer. We've got various different trigger options. So again, binary trigger response. So there is how far you pull the trigger for it to fire and then how far it resets. For example, you could set this as a hair trigger where it's simply firing there, or all the way back. But what you can do is if you have a hair trigger and you pull it all the way back, the trigger doesn't have to reset all the way forward. You can have it do a 10% reset. So as long as that trigger moves 10% of its travel, it will then fire again, allowing you to customize this trigger exactly how you want to feather it, or how you sort of sit and wait on the sort of wall of your trigger, meaning that you can loose a round off very comfortably and very, very easily. Obviously, binary we've got where it's fire, 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 fire. Check your sight. A lot of sites, including ours, Proving Grounds and Halo Mill, obviously CQB semi-only, binary is considered full auto, purely because of how you can quite easily ramp it and do as much of a sort of rate of fire as full auto in some instances, but it is very good for conserving ammo. So if you are outdoors, binary, you're going to put the same effective fire down with maybe 5 to 10 BBs as a full auto burst on a high rate of fire might dump 20 to 25. Magazines on this thing are, I'd say only, but these are 95 round BBs, 95 round capacity of BBs. And again, if you're chugging through on full auto, you're going to burn through mags quite fast. So if you keep that binary, it's going to keep you a few extra BBs for different contacts that you can come across. Obviously, I've said these are 95 rounds. There is a way to take the base plate off, go inside, flick a switch, and lock them to 30. So that means you've got real cap magazines. Again, depending where you're going, if you're going to a milsim, or personally, quite like running around with limited ammo capacity, mag changing, adds excitement to the game, and just changes the sort of aspect of how you're going. When it comes to mags as well, another inclusion in the box is the flared mag well. So it simply slides on, there's 2 grub screws that you tighten up, and then you can keep that on, just making loading a little bit faster. Again, when you drop down to 30 BBs, you want to be changing the mags quite fast. On the box, there is a sticker that says this is 11.1 ready. We obviously recommend, and this is purely for our power limits, it's nothing to do with the build or the quality of the platform. We are recommending or warranting for 7.4. This is obviously coming from a manufacturer that ships around the world. And again, there are drastic different power levels everywhere. So we're recommending 7.4 to prevent any form of pre-engagement or damaging the system purely because of our power limits and the springs that are in here. Nothing to do with ARCTURUS, build quality, the MOSFET, anything like that. It's physically how fast UK power springs can push that piston forward before the gears come round and try to re-engage it. So again, stick to your 7.4s. It will be absolutely fine. You've got that pre-cocking, you've got the snap shooting, you've got binary, so your rate of fire is going to be absolutely fine. Yeah, and with this thing, it is, obviously we've talked about the 40mm thread on the front. Underneath that, we have a 6.01 tightbore barrel and a 320mm length in a barrel. So I'm excited to see how this thing performs outside. So we're going to take it to the range, loose some rounds off, show you some of the features on the MOSFET, and then come back for a little debrief, but join us on our range in just a second. Hi guys, so we've made it outside. I've set up the PP-19 with some 2.8 BBs. We've set the hop slightly and just tested some test shots, but with the MOSFET inside, I've set some pre-cocking for the semi-auto, and then I've set full auto to binary just so we can show you what ramping is when it comes to the binary system on this platform. So we're going to try out the close target to start with. We've got the yellow target and the metal target down there. Very easily reaching there. So let's try the far one. So this is about 60 meters. So yeah, comfortably reaching out there. So flicking to full auto, what you'll see when we talk about binary is if I pull the trigger, it fires around. Release the trigger, it fires around. Very easy to do. But with this platform, if I spam the trigger, as you can see, it just turns into full auto. So what that means, that's called ramping. So again, so it allows you that if you are doing that binary trigger and you need enough fire down range, the gun will automatically jump into full auto. But again, speak to your sight. If you've got a no full auto zone or semi-only, it is not suitable for that area. But this thing is reaching out very nice and comfortably. And again, back to, and we're out there. So yeah, really impressed with it. We'll head back to the table and have a little debrief, but with that 320, with that 601, comfortably reaching out to 60 meters. And again, like I was saying earlier, it's meant to be 3.1 kilos. Doesn't feel like it, really comfortable, but let's have a sit down and a quick debrief. So guys, we're back at the desk and colour me impressed with this thing. I've said it to the guys in the room and around the shop. This is not something I would personally run. I'm not a massive fan of the step down in this front end and a SMG platform being so long. I do like long M4s and long rifles, but when it comes to an SMG, I prefer short ones. But how well this thing has performed outside, it has sort of changed my perspective on it a little bit. And now that we've built it up a little bit, obviously slightly changing that aesthetic of the front end, I think it's just when it's a little bit raw and unbuilt up, it's not my cup of tea. But I think this thing has a place in anyone's armory. That tightbore barrel comfortably reaching out and touching that 60-meter target, and it felt like it was getting there quite quickly, so it's maintaining its momentum and keeping that FPS very well in its flight path. Obviously, we've got the binary into a ramping system. The pre-cocking helps with snap shooting. We've got the aluminium to keep some of that weight down, and as I said, it's saying it's 3.15 kilos. It doesn't feel like it after shooting it for a while and having it on the range. Very, very comfortable to shoot, and I think maneuverability, I don't think you'd have too much trouble if you're working in a sort of urban, sort of CQB and outdoor environment. If you're having to take this indoors, I think you're still going to be fine with it. And again, accessory-wise, you can cover this in whatever you want. So let us know down below if this is something that you would run, or you prefer the standard PP-19, maybe a little bit of modernization with the Zco stuff. I think the stock is an incredible system of how you can just adjust it in so many different ways to get this exactly how you want it. And would you run it with just a dot? Would you run it with lights, lasers, torches? How would you set yours up? And let us know in the comments down below. And remember to like the video, subscribe, do all that YouTube algorithm stuff to help us out, because we love making these videos for you guys. But if that is everything for today, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.